Yo, what is good, boys? It is Mark. Don't mind me, I'm currently going on a walk right now, trying to get 20,000 steps per day. As you guys can see, me and my community have been top and bottom ticking like this. I also forgot to mention, one of my friends that I just recently taught the Quant Tower levels to just did 11,000 on one account using the Quant Tower levels only. And it's been 2 weeks. If you guys are interested in learning how to trade the model that I trade and want a more hands-on, in-depth class on how to do it, feel free to shoot me a DM with the word candle, and me and my team can see if you're a good fit on my Instagram at Mark Trades with 2 S's. This video alone explains every single part of my strategy that I look for, what I look for, why I enter, and you guys can easily make 6 figures a month trading this. I personally know someone who is making $100,000 a month trading this model alone, and you guys can do the same exact thing. If you apply the model correctly, this can easily be you. Other than that, let's get right into the video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Like I said, if you're interested, DM me on Instagram and we can lock you in from there. I'm recording now. Alright guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be explaining how we were able to make 1.1k today. Today was pretty easy, self-explanatory. I'm about to run you guys down through my whole model. It's pretty much easy once you get the fundamentals. So I know it looks like a lot on my chart, but I'm going to explain to you right now how easy it is and how simple it is. Right, so if I clear my chart real quick, the first thing I always like to start with is understanding where we are at the day. Right, so whether it's going on the weekly time frame, however you guys get your bias, I'm about to explain to you guys how I get mine. But as you can see on the weekly time frame, we swept this low, right? So we swept that low, and once we sweep a low, in order for us to deliver lower, if the bias was even more bearish, we would have to deliver back up, right, to go lower, right? But that's why I was more inclined for longs today, and another reason why was because if we go on the 5-minute or 10-minute, whatever time frame you guys use, you guys use last week's profile. We did not use Monday's profile because Monday's profile because yesterday was a bank holiday. So you guys know, there's not really much liquidity or volume, so there's nothing to really base our trades off of. As you can see, this is Monday. Really nothing to take here, right? Not a lot of volume, so there's nothing really affected the market. So what I was doing was I was coming into Tuesday and I was using last week's profile. You guys usually know how when I trade on Mondays I use last week's profile, and then on Tuesdays I use the Monday's profile. So since we had nothing on Monday, I had to use last week's profile, if that makes sense. So if you guys here, if we go into anchored volume profile, you can see here from last Monday, last Sunday. What do you see, right? If I turn on the settings, you can see, let's make this white. So what do you see here, right? You see that price was at a discount. Well, now it's, price is at a discount, right? Price is at a discount, so what does that mean for us? We know that what we want to look for. So every day I go into the day, I'm on the weekly time frame. That's going to give me my bias for the week, what I want to see for the week. And then intraday, coming to the day, I'm looking at where we're at on the volume profile. So as you can see here, we are below the value area low. If you guys want to learn more about the volume profile, I talk about it in the 55 model video. It's pretty easy to understand. Everything below here is discounted. Everything above here is premium. So you're not gonna go to a gas station and buy gas for $12 when down the street it's at like $5. Like exactly. Obviously, if you were driving on the street and you saw gas for $2, you're gonna buy it because it's cheap. You're not gonna miss out on that deal. So what happens is price typically at the value area low, we tend to trade up. So that's what gave me my bias coming into the day. So I knew that price wanted to go higher, especially if you look at the last 2 days. You can see how big of a move we had going downwards, right? And typically what happens is when you have such a big move, the market always has to rebalance, not always, but the market has to rebalance itself, right? The same thing literally happened a couple days ago. Before this happened, before this big move happened, what happened here? We had price trade into this area, and then we had a big move happen. right? And what happened here? The market had to rebalance itself, right? Comes down. Same thing before this week. We had a big move. Market rebalanced itself right after that, right? So it's obvious like what the market has been moving really good. So it's obvious what we want to see. So other than that, we're at a value area low, right? So we know we want to look for longs. So now you're probably asking me, you're like, Mark, where and how do I know when to enter? That's what we're about to go over right now. So now that we know that we're at a value area low, that price is discounted, now we are going to show you how we got our areas of interest. So as you guys know, I trade 55 levels, but if we turn on the indicator, we see that there were no levels for market open today. This was not a level. So we see that there's no levels to take trades off of. So whenever that happens, in my head, the first thing I'm gonna do is go into Quant Tower. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into Quant Tower and find an area where I can take a trade off of. So once we do that, as you guys can see, now we're in Quant Tower. We have all of these levels, right? The main thing I tell you guys is this. The levels that are gonna make the most sense are the ones that are long. If they're long, then it's valid. If they're not long, then they're not valid. So as you guys can see here, we have this long level here, we have this long level here, we also have this long level here. When I say long, I mean horizontally, right? Another thing I like to look for, which makes it a lot cleaner, is if we have a level that was tapped into and the market had a big move after we tapped into it. So as you guys can see here, we had this one level right down here, right? What happened? Market traded up into it, we had a reversal. That's a valid level in my eyes, right? That's an area um, where there's a lot of participants and where we saw a strong reversal. It created this huge move all the way up here. What happened down here, right? We had, um, where is it? Yeah, we had this other level that's all the way back here, as you guys can see. The market traded up into it multiple times. It gave us multiple times to enter off of it. So we have this one right here, this entry right here. This is a couple of days ago, well, like last month almost. And then we go more to the right, and we see that we also had this right here. Traded up into the same exact level. It gave us a reversal, and we just know that this is an area that there's a swing low that's valid. So you guys know, whatever like ICT is bullshit. It is, but it isn't, because it makes sense, right? But it's all like it's all jumbled up because every swing low here can be invalid swing low that doesn't have any relevance to the market. So that's why having Quant Tower is important because it tells you which swing lows matter the most. There was a swing low here that was created that also created an imbalance. So we know that underneath the swing low, there's resting buyers. Okay, boom. On top of that, we're in a value area low, and so we have that in mind. So what I do is I usually mark out the top of the zone that was created on NQ, right? And I wait for price to trade up into it. I had these two areas, so I had this one that was created off of this one, right? As you guys can see, and yeah. So I have 0.85, and then I also have 0.050. Oh wait, this one is wrong. Sorry, I didn't mean. I meant this one right here. 97. Is it 97? Because I remember I moved it by accident. Let me just check because there was a trade that I took before that I got break even on. So 623.60. Hold on, let me check the screenshot. My bad, guys. Where is it? I think it was here. This one right here. So it was 23.109. That was the one I got break even on. Let's see. Okay, I think it was this one right here. So 0.97, and then we had 0.250. So if you guys look on the right hand side, yeah, it was 0.97. So if you guys look on the right hand side, we have here. So I woke up at around 8:30. Woke up at around 8:30, and at 8:45, I got on my chart. Saw all this. I really liked this rejection, right? We had a huge SMT, right? And in my head, I was expecting price to be bullish. Why? Because value area low, right? And we were discounted, right? And we were tapping into an imbalance. So I saw that we rejected off of this, so I took an entry. I cannot emphasize this enough. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you guys want to take payouts, this is the way you are supposed to be trading. I was speaking about this to Darian earlier today. This is the exact way you want to be trading. So as you guys see right here, right? This is the first trade I took of the day. It's up 46. I took it on three. I took it on three contracts. I know the stops were big, but I was trading on micros, so I was risking the the amount that I would usually risk. So as you guys can see, I got an entry at 0.97, right? And there was a 1 minute for value gap. So if I go on the 1 minute for value gap, let me mark out 0.97 real quick. All right, 0.97. So the trade that I took was around right here. Um, yeah, right here. So I cannot emphasize this enough. If you guys want to become profitable, this is the easiest way to become profitable. You need to have you need to have a mechanical model implemented into your strategy. If you don't have one, you need to have one because this is what's going to get you free payouts. This is what's going to get you to rinse these prop firms that are scamming other people, not scamming other people, but you know what I mean, that are like taking all these other people's money because they don't have a mechanical model in place. So I entered off of this because I liked the rejection off of it the first time, right? Um, and I took my TP1 at this 1 minute for value gap, right? The reason why I took it there was because this was the easiest target to hit. So usually what happens is people that are, let's say there was a 30-second inversion down here, they took an entry, an ICT trade or whatever. Um, this is the way I used to trade ICT. So having these targets are easy for me. So let's say somebody entered down here. If somebody has a one-to-one risk to reward on a trade that they take, right, or like they usually trade a one-to-one that has an extremely high win rate, this is what they do, right? They just have the easiest target. They would take it with two contracts and call it a day, right? But the thing is, they're not capitalizing on these big moves that the market is giving us. The market's giving us so many opportunities, and we have to be able to capitalize it while also being able to cover our back end. If we're not being able to cover our risk, then you're obviously not doing something right. Since I was bearish and we had so many kill zones above us, I really wanted to target these London highs, right? So I had 0.97 targeted. I took my first entry, as you can see. We took our entry here. I had my stuff at the swing low. I was okay with being a drawdown because it was micro, so I knew that I wasn't over leveraging. And I took my TP1 at this 1 minute for value gap, while also targeting, giving myself an opportunity to target these London highs because obviously we don't know where the market's going, but we can have an idea of where it's going. And this could have been at this exact moment. I was like, all right, this could be the low of day. For what I knew, I thought this would have been the low of the day. That wasn't the case. Price ended up coming back down, reversing, and stopping me break even. But thankfully, I have two trade ideas in mind. I always give myself a second scenario. I give myself one scenario. If the first scenario happens and then I get break even on it, I'm waiting for the second scenario to happen. So you guys should always have one scenario, two scenarios in your mind. If the second scenario, if the second scenario doesn't happen, you're not taking a second trade. You're only allowing yourself to take one trade. If you get break even on that trade, you're looking for the second scenario, or you're looking for another re-entry on the same exact trade and the same exact trade idea that you had on the first trade, if that makes sense, right? So I always give myself two scenarios. The second scenario I had in mind was this exact one that I had that I'm about to show you guys right now. If we go back on Quant Tower, we see that we have 0.50. We got that from a zone that was all the way back here, right? It's kind of far. I don't want to look back for it. If you guys want to see it, go back in the video. 23045, 23050.75. That's the next area I was looking to take a trade at. So we have 050 right here. Boom. And we saw that there was a huge rejection off of a 050. What I did was I waited for a little bit more confirmation and I took an entry off of 097. Took an entry here, and then I had the same exact trade in mind. Bless you. So I had the same exact trade in mind. My stops were tighter on this one. It was like 100 ticks. I was targeting London highs. I was actually going for way more, like probably 3,000 ticks. But yeah, so this is what happened. So I knew that we had PMI coming out at 10 a.m. So this is what I did. So my TP1 was a little bit higher. It was somewhere here. It was at this swing high. So, so my TP1 was at the swing high, and I was waiting for price to hit my TP1, but as you can see, we did not hit it, and there's a reason why we didn't hit it. I ended up closing my trade somewhere down over here, right here. So I walked out with like 500 ticks. It's perfectly fine. It's all right. There's a reason why. So if I go into my Forex Factory, we can see here that we have PMI, right? We have PMI, and this candle, as I was trading up into PMI at 10 a.m. As you can see right here, 10 a.m. We opened up. We opened up extremely bullish. I was like, all right, like this is gonna go my way. And next thing you know, I start to notice us having like a small sell-off. So that raised a couple of red flags. So in my head, I'm like, all right, let me check out PMI, see what happened. And as you can see here, PMI came out bearish. So the actual was, if you see the usual effect, it says the actual greater than the forecast is good for currency. And as you can see here, the actual came out to 48.7 and the forecast came out to 49.0. So this number had to be greater than 49.0 for it to be for it to give me like a bullish for it to be a bullish confluence, right? So macro data does not care about your strategy, your model. It's gonna move according to what the news comes out to. So that was the reason why I closed my trade somewhere around here. Right, I got out with 500 ticks, right? Boom. If you look on the right hand side, you can see what happens again. Price ended up coming back down to 0.050 and we ended up having another reversal off of this. So we had these Nuric aim lows, price tapped into 0.50 again, and then it hit my initial target that I was looking for. So as you guys can see, right there, boom. Well, it didn't hit my initial target because I was targeting the highs, but we're literally approaching it right now as we speak. So this is still going to be the same target that I have for this week. But as you guys can see here, it happened during PM session instead of during when I took the trade. So yeah. Oh, also I forgot to mention this. What's going to make every single trade of yours cleaner is if it has an SMT. So if you look on the 30-minute time frame, if we clear all of this again, 30-minute time frame, we see that there's a low here. Let me get rid of all this. So as you guys can see, there's a low here, right? This low got taken by NQ, right? So that means that this low right here, the swing low, NQ took it, which means that price traded right underneath it and delivered higher. If you look on ES, ES did not take this low. So what this indicates is that price is lagging and one of these indexes are not agreeing with the other one. When there's a SMT at the low, that means that we know that price wants to deliver a lot higher. Make sure. So that's pretty much it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. The recording's about to end, so I'm just gonna wrap it up for them. So an SMT plus a zone tap on Quant Tower and volume profile, and then obviously adding weekly bias to your trading, right? So today was a pretty good day. I wish I caught this trade instead, but still walked out with $1,000. You guys need to make sure you guys are implementing mechanical model into your trading strategy, even if you want to target for these long moves. So Dave asked me, how do I mark up my levels? I'm about to explain it to you guys right now. So, so we have two levels, right? We have one down here, we have a one up here. So the way I like to mark them out is if price is trading in between and we're waiting for some type of a level tap, if we're trading into it, I'm marking the nearest zone that price is trading into, at the top of the zone. So if we're looking for buys, I'm marking out the top of the zone. If we're looking for sells, I'm marking out the bottom of the zone. So in this case, as you can see here, I'm looking for buys down here. Up here, I'm looking for sells. So I'd mark out the bottom of it, and down here, I'd mark at the top of it. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yep. Sounds good.
So your trade today was based off of just QT and SMT, that just those two confluences?
Yeah, literally just those two.
Okay, because there wasn't any 55 level near today.
Exactly. So when there's no 55 levels near, you just use the quant tower to compensate.
Right.
Exactly. Do any of you other guys have a question? I suggest you guys ask the most questions as possible here.
I have a question, Mark.
Yeah.
So
Actually, wait,
I
is that
entered.
Alexa speaking?
Yeah.
All right, never mind. Yeah, you can be quiet. No, I'm kidding. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. So I entered at 67.
Yeah.
Of the initial, we had an initial reaction. Where I seen that we were rejecting pretty well, so that's why I took my entry, and I ended up getting well, I got stopped out.
Did you get stopped out or
'Cause
did you get break even?
I usually go break even out of 1-to-1. I didn't quite get the 1-to-1, so I didn't go break even.
So what time was this at? Was it during
I
PM session or
entered
what?
11:35. That was my entry on that candle.
Wait, what? Sorry, you were lagging.
11:35.
11:35.
That was where I got my entry.
Um, for what? Shorts or longs?
Longs
At 6 what?
6-7.
6-7. All right, I'm done. So
Oh
at
yeah, this
11:30.
guy's rich, by the way.
So 11:35. Yeah, this is not a good trade. 6-7. Yeah, this is not a good trade. So Alexis, so from now on, what I want you to do, I need you to start, whenever you're taking trades like these, because what this looks like right here, it just looks like it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. What did you take this off of?
We took out we had an SMT with ES. ES took out those lows. We had a level tap, and I seen that we're having a good reaction off that 67 zone, so that's why I took my entry. Value area low as well.
So 11:35.
It was like a very big wick. I was up like I think 40 something ticks at one point, but usually I wait till I get to 50 for 1-to-1.
Oh, let's look at here. Okay, so you took it off of an SMT on an NQ, right?
Yeah, there was an SMT, yeah.
Yeah, so ES took these lows out. So what do we see here? What do we see? What do you think went wrong here? I want to ask you, what do you think went wrong?
I think I should have waited for price to come down lower.
Yeah. So if you look to your left hand side, what do we see? We see a kill zone. What do we know kill zones are what are kill zones known for? These are price time based liquidity where price likes to attack. So what happened after we attacked this low? We had a delivery upwards. So what I want you to do now, instead of taking trades off of SMTs, you need to set yourself conditions. Like over here, I had a condition, right? I was waiting for a zone
Mhm.
tap, waiting for an SMT, and we were in a value area low. We had everything that I wanted to see. So now what I want you to do is, instead of just waiting for a zone tap plus an SMT and like taking it off of an invalid area, you need to wait. I would wait for a kill zone to be taken out. So like this one right here, you got a kill zone. I would wait for this one to get taken out, just so you can be able to, you know, you know, have like a better conditions for the way you want to trade, right? We know that
All right.
price wants to attack these kill zones, so there should be no reason why you're taking a trade right above a kill zone once we're in a downtrend, trying to catch the bottom of this move here, right? You see that price wants to go down. Where does price? If I see this in my head, I'm like, all right, price is going down. Where does it want to go down to? Does it want to go down here, right? I don't think it does. I know that price wants to attack this point right here because what happened before this point. There's a kill zone on top of that. There's also a huge move that happened right before that move, right? So before every trade you take, I want you to try to utilize kill zones as much as possible because they work and they're important. So to me, I would give this trade like a F because
Yikes.
I'll give it like a F just
You quit.
because. No, don't, no, stop. I'll give it an F just because you have to be able to understand where the market wants to go, right? This was taken in the middle of an area. Yes, it had an SMT. Yes, there might have been a zone on Nas on Quant Tower, but we have to be able to understand that there's gonna be zones printed everywhere. We need to know which zone is invalid. We need to know which zone is gonna play out. You think I'm looking at all these zones and like, all right, I know, like I'm not looking at all these zones and marking all of them out. I'm um I'm signal. I forgot the word, bro. I can't even speak right now. But pretty much, I'm taking each zone one by one, and I'm asking myself, all right, how can this add any relevance to the way I want to trade today, right? That's what I'm asking myself every single time. I'm not. Look how many levels there were underneath, right? We had so many levels, and I didn't mark them out because I'm just looking for the ones that make sense. There was also a bunch of levels down here somewhere that I didn't mark out because I know that they have no relevance, right? So one of your jobs as a trader is to figure out which one makes the most sense. How can it help me today with my bias and the way I want to trade? And that's the hardest part. But that's what comes with time. You're not gonna I can't sit here and tell you, oh, like, this one I picked this zone because I saw this and that. But the only way you're gonna really learn how to do it is when you're actually, getting the reps in. Like I told you this before. Only way you're gonna learn is by getting the reps in, right? That's the only way you're gonna learn. So, that's very important. Stephen Curry can tell you how to shoot a basketball, but you're not gonna be able to shoot like Steph Curry. The only way you can get to that level is if you're putting in the reps every single day, right? So
Gotcha.
yeah. So it's just about, adding conditions to your trade. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Replay mode and just put the anchor volume profile before open and just like analyze it out loud, see what you're reading on there before we get going, besides the bias of where the value area is.
What were you asking? You lagged in the first part. So you said go into replay mode, put
Oh
on
yeah,
the anchor volume profile, and what else?
yeah, and just go through your analysis of what you're reading on there before open happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's also
Besides
good.
like besides your bias, like outside of using it for your bias, like how else would you use it?
The profile.
Yeah, the anchored
Um,
volume profile.
so there's other ways that I use it. So there was, I don't know if I have. Oh, I can go into my journal right now. Uh, so so this is my new month's journal. So there's ways you could use it. So as you can see, these are the trades that I took, the ones that I just showed you right now.
Right.
Wait, where's the actual? Oh no, I don't. I think I have it in my files. Pictures. Like, I don't think I have the screenshot of it. Where is this? All right. So look. So this is when I was like somewhat through my trade, targeting London highs. As you
Right.
guys can see here, we had 323, right? there was a high volume node here. Price traded up into 323, and that's when we had this rejection. It was, I think my price on,
Yeah, that's why I was asking you go to
oh,
replay mode so you can
231.
see what it actually looked like at the time.
Yeah, I got you. I thought you were asking me, like, do you go into replay mode to, like, just for your bias? But my bad.
Oh, no. Yeah, just,
Um, so 323. Oh wait, was it 323? No, it was something else. 231. Yeah. 231. So boom, 231. I knew that price. I wanted to see, we had it, but PMI came out. But as you can see down here, we had like big strides towards this area, and I know that price was gonna have some type of reversal off of this area, because if you go on the quant tower, not quant tower, if you go on the anchor volume profile, we put last week's Monday. So there we go. There was a high volume node here that I was expecting price to reject
I
off of.
see.
So
Okay.
like I was expecting price to have some sort of reversal, because what do the high volume nodes show? The high volume nodes show us that, price where the banks are participating at. So I was expecting some sort of reversal here. On the 5 minute though, we did have a closure above it, so I was kind of happy about that. So I was okay with that. And then pretty much what happens after that, 10 a.m. open, we had an we opened bullish, then we sold off because news came out bearish. So like everywhere, like right here, like price right here, I'm just looking for price to just, trade right through it. All these like little mountains right here, I'm looking for like, small little reversals. I'm
Okay,
expecting,
yeah, I think I was looking at it backwards, actually, so that makes sense.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking for price to, have small little reversals here, and I'm okay with it
okay.
because I know that, if I have the right direction of the day, I can catch these big moves. Just the main thing is understanding that price always wants to attract towards the point of control, right? Remember the apples? two
Yeah.
dollars, right? $2 apples. Everyone wants to buy $2 apples. Nobody wants to buy $5, $3 apples. Everyone wants to buy $2 apples because that's the normal price. So yeah,
All right, so if we're below the point of control, let's say we're still below the point of control, so we're looking for longs, and we blow right past a high volume node. If we wanted to catch a continuation, you'd want to see it go through it, and then you'd wait for a retest of some sort, right?
yeah, you can wait. So you could wait for this retest right here. And you could do this. This is like the traditional way, or you could use the 55 level retest, or you could use a quantile retest.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it for today. I think you guys don't have any more questions, but just for you guys to know, um, you guys need to make sure you guys are scheduling your classes. We need to get all of this out of the way. I need to bring you guys as much results as possible. So make sure to schedule your classes if you guys have any questions. Even if you're Alexis, even if you're Josue, um, I know you guys, worked with me a while back, like 2 months, 3 months ago, 2 months around there, the last month we had. But you guys need to make sure you guys are scheduling classes if you guys need help with anything. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions, just feel free to shoot me a text on my phone, and we'll see you guys next week or
Gotcha. Thank you,
on
Mark.
Thursday. Yes, sir. All right.
All right,
You
thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you. Have a good
appreciate
day.
you, Mark.
Yes, sir.